everyone, it's another Wednesday night, and around this time on your TV screens, I'm sure you're looking for it always, for the CA show. Here we bring very thoughtful and insightful discussions, and as always, as we do every Wednesday night on NTV, we're here to do the usual. I've been joined by two brilliant and beautiful guests on the show tonight. Meanwhile, make sure you're watching us live on Facebook on the go if you have to move out and then do some other things as well. So on Facebook, you can watch us live at North Television GH. Please make sure you're sharing this feed for it to reach more and more people. And also follow the official page of this particular show on Facebook at the CS Show. My name is Queen Classy, your host. I welcome you to tonight's show. Tonight on NTV. Now, let me say thank you to our partners for this season. That is TMP Film Academy and TMP Studios. They are behind the production, and then whatever you're seeing on your screen right now, they are in charge of doing that. So the best place you can actually become a videographer, a photographer, and also an editor when it comes to camera works and everything concerning that, make sure that TMP Film Academy is where you are getting in touch with, and you can also learn and become a master, because the digitalization world is approaching so fast, and you can take advantage of this opportunity by TMP Film Academy to equip yourself with some mastery skills around that side as well. Now, if you're coming into Tamale or you're within Tamale and you just want a place to relax, have good food, have so much fun, Clinton Lodge and Restaurant is the venue for you, because here your security is assured and we give you best services when it comes to hospitality. So Clinton Lodge and Restaurant is the destination for you. They're located in Tamale at Target area, and whatever that you need when you come to the premises, it will be provided for you. Like I said earlier, we're talking loyalty and trust in marriage. We'll take a quick turn off the camera. When we come back, I get to introduce my guests and get right into the discussion. Do stay with us.
Explore the innovation and imagination behind epic movie making. Apply for our training courses in filmmaking at TMP Film Academy, located at Tamale, Ward K. Our 6 months intensive training program will introduce you to directing, script writing, cinematography, photography, lighting, production sound, editing, graphic design, and many more. You will receive hands-on technical training through behind-the-scenes breakdowns, concept development, storylines, student productions, and mentorship by seasoned and experienced industry professionals. Enroll now. Pick up the admission forms for 100 Ghana cedis. For more enquiries, call or WhatsApp 050-486-8483 or 024-125-1400. TMP Film Academy, unearthing the creativity in you.
Thank you for sticking around here, and this is the CA Show, the Classy and Sassy Show, right here on NTV. Like I said, you must make sure that you're sharing this feed if you're watching live on Facebook for it to reach more and more people. My name is Queen Classy. I have been joined tonight by two personalities that we may be familiar with. If not, it means you're new here. I would urge you to stay on because you will enjoy this particular discussion. I want to thank all the production team, our partners for this season, and also our director Biggie and our manager for NTV, Mr. Enoch. Thank you so much, and also to our Chief Executive Officer, Chief Adam Kokra. Let's head on to what we have for tonight, and we're talking loyalty and trust in marriage. So I want to understand all those things. Madam Nakwale Richardson is my guest this evening, and she joins us to have this particular discussion. She is an entrepreneur, and she is the CEO of Northern Radio Awards. She is a superwoman, a woman of steel. I've always said that. You know, she's my mentor, so yeah, you can see the works she's doing on me. Madam Nakwale, good evening.
Good evening, guys.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. I think we feel better now.
Yeah.
A little.
The weather is really nice.
Right. That's fine. And I have with me a fine gentleman you can't find in the northern region. Know that about that. Mr. Raphael Titus is also my guest tonight. He is a life coach and he also is a relationship and marriage counselor or expert. And so, yes, Mr. Titus is here with us. Good evening. How are you?
The,
Within. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So now let's detail the terms or the key terms that we have in this particular discussion. We have loyalty and we have trust. First of all, let's understand what they mean. Are they similar or are there differences or are they different from each other? I'll start with you, Madam Nakwari.
A very good evening to your listeners, and it's good to be back here. Now, the subject of trust and loyalty, they are parallel. They are parallel. So, physics as a topic called parallel yoga. They never meet, but they are all on the same line. Because then, in doing one, you express the other. And so it brings meaning into it. But basically, trust is having that sense of reliability and a hold on to something or someone for the kind of things they can do and they can offer. So more like their word is their bond. And so you are rested in knowing that everything that they are saying, they make themselves accountable to it. Then loyalty then is more of an allegiance or like an expression of devotion and commitment, like standing firm and strong in support of something or someone, where you are immovable or unshakable. Now, trust is innate, like trust is something you feel. Loyalty is expressed. What do I mean by that? When I say I trust you, it's not something I can actually hold on to. You know, it's me having that feeling, knowing that when it comes to so and so, your word is your bond, which means that until it actually takes place, my trust has a degree of ambiguity to it, because then I can't hold on to whatever it is that is being offered. Loyalty, on the other hand, is the expression of the trust. So, for instance, the little act I do affirms your trust and then assures you of my sense of loyalty. So, for instance, how I stand by you when there are situations, how I defend you when there are issues, how, irrespective of my trials or tribulations, I still show you my sense of devotion and commitment. That's basically what the two. Now, most of the time, they look the same. They are not. Trust is different from loyalty. They are similar because in doing one, you express the other. And so these two things, they go hand in hand. You can't say you have trust without loyalty. And also the other aspect too is the kind of trust you are exhibiting and the kind of loyalty you are exhibiting. You could be doing transactional trust, which means the trust is subject to a situation, a timeline, an event or activity. Or you could be doing relational trust, which is what we are basically focusing on, relational, trust. Then the loyalty, you could also be doing transactional loyalty. And then in the other side, you could also be doing emotional loyalty as well. So right now, the referencing is stemming from more relational and emotional, because then it's in reference to marriage. It's in reference to, let's say, love and a family setting. So basically, that's what these two things stand for.
Okay. All right, Mr. Titus, what do you think? You think they're different, similar, or what can we just understand by loyalty and trust in marriage?
So when you look at where these words implies most of the time, loyalty is most of the time used within the circles of the military or security services. I call it a masculine word. So a man understands loyalty more than a woman will understand. In a sense, the way a man will understand loyalty may also slightly differ from the way a woman will understand loyalty. But when we say loyalty, it does. It does. Just as love. Love is the same, but expressed differently by the woman and also expressed differently by the man. Actually, to some extent, if a man says, I love you, and you should ask him, what do you mean? I mean, explain with diagram. And then underline, italize some of the things. I love you. What you think the man meant by saying, I love you, is totally different from what he's going to say. That is why you only see love in its true form when it is expressed, but not when it is said. So in loyalty, as we are talking, in the military sense or in the word allegiance, most of the time we become, we pay homage to national flags, we pay allegiance to national, in terms of the Ghana national anthem when it's being played. Most of the time, those who love football, the Black Stars have come into attack that the passion they used to do their job on the field is questionable. They were after money and stuff like that. When things get tough, everybody moves on. So loyalty is a test. I see it as a test. Now described, mentioned some types of loyalty, transactional. So the transactional loyalty is you are doing it for a purpose. You are paying that person back with loyalty because he's doing something for you.
So it's like
So that one has expiry date.
Yes, there's a timeline.
That
to
kind
it.
of loyalty
Yes.
has a
When you
timeline.
don't get that, there's no loyalty.
Exactly. So within those circles, you can, with this that we have said, people can analyze their relationship and see whether
Is
this
it
loyalty is
transactional?
transactional
Yes.
or not. That's why the reason why I'm saying men understand. In the military, you die for your loyalty. No matter how hard the battle goes. Because you want the flag to stand. You want to win the battle at all costs. Either you die on the battlefield or you don't come back at all. And that is what loyalty means. So in the field of the relationship that we are in, it's either we are dying or we don't really.
We don't start
or we
at
don't
all.
at all.
Yeah.
And that is how transcendent and that's how heavy the
Loyalty
word
is.
loyalty is. So the test of loyalty, where we know whether that loyalty will get to the level as we are trying to promote here, is when things go bad. Or when things are not in the way. Everybody will say, I'm loyal when you are winning the battle.
Yeah.
It
Loyalty is cheap
It's cheap.
when there's no chaos.
There is also that emotional loyalty. Where, oh yes. Oh, there is a behavioral loyalty where people will be loyal to you because you behave towards them in a particular way. The politicians, they are a typical example of transactional loyalty. Someone will be loyal to the president, not because the president is doing the right thing, but because he's doing what they are getting out of it. Okay, the telcos, the companies that we subscribe some of their products, they do behavioral loyalty. If you use my product or you do this for this number of years, or if you buy this product, I'm going to give you this as a form of loyalty. It's a behavioral loyalty. These are marketing terms that the customer loyalty. People do things for customers to stay with them for a long time. So if you are treating a relationship as a product in the marketing field, then we should know that there is a customer who is buying that product and we have to do things for them to be loyal. Emotional loyalty in that sense. Most of the time, it's mostly pertaining to the female. Emotional loyalty. Men are logical beings, but females are emotional. As long as a woman loves you, she will be loyal. So with that, as soon as the emotion vanishes, then the loyalty will be questionable. Then we come to the trust. The trust is the sense of knowing that whatever you say, whether the person is present or absent, there is 80% or 90% likelihood, probability that will happen.
Exactly.
So there is something we do at couples therapy when couples are married. We want to test their trust level. You turn your back and your wife or your husband stands behind you, you are blindfolded, and you are asked to fall on your back. Now, we look at how willingly you are going to do the falling and how you are going to protect yourself. The fact is that we want to see whether you know and you believe and you trust that this man, when you are falling, he will hold you down.
Okay.
If you don't even know what trust also is, just imagine you go to work and you hear somebody has been poisoned, but you come home, your wife cooks, and you still eat. You have the sense, you trust that whoever you are with,
Or you fought till the morning.
You fought-
go,
yeah.
you go out and come back.
you said all what you are going to say, and so you come back and eat. And that is what we call. It's because that person has shown something consistently. And based on those things the person has shown, you can predict that in this scenario or in this case, this is how this person will act. When you have that sense of feeling, as was described, then we say yes, you trust such a
You
person.
trust the person. Interesting. Now, Madam Lakwal, I like the fact that you mentioned that these two words are different from each other, though they may have to work together somewhat. But which one comes first? Is it loyalty before trust, or trust before loyalty? Do they complement each other, or they substitute each other?
Compliment. Actually, you can't have loyalty without trust. What are you loyal to? There must be a degree of trust, even if it's transactional. But like I would say this, there are three phases for trust to a woman when it comes to love. Men are different because they do the math. In fact, they over calculate, and then they start using plus and minuses. But for the feminine composite, it's different. It's different because there's no math to it. You are either it or you are not. And so that's where our sixth senses begins to do its work. So first, my trust for you as a friend. Are you my friend? Most of the time, men work out friendships. Women don't. When we don't start as friends, for a woman to switch to be your friend in marriage is a problem. When we start as friends, it has its own way of building deeper trust between us, because then when intimacy is missing, it's friendship that sustains. So can I trust you to say anything around you? Do I have to be careful when I'm talking? Like, I have to be conscious. Hey, don't say this. He go ball right now. That kind of thing. Can I be frivolous around you? Can I break all forms of etiquette and decorums around you as a friend without needing any special reason? But am I that comfortable as a friend? What can I say? What can I share without facing your prejudices and your judges? I'm not ready for your scrutiny. Like, can I lose myself in my silly state and know that you got me? That's one trust. Second trust. Do I trust you as my husband? Can I trust you as the man of my life? Do I trust that apart from the title of being a wife, you are like you see me as this is my woman?
Okay.
That pride, that sense of ownership, that joy you could go out and show off. This is my woman. Now, that stems from an acceptance and an acknowledgement of my imperfections. So imagine that you are used to seeing big asses, like before you changed. Let me put it that way. You like, fair-colored girl. I'm a dark-colored, flat-ass, small-breasted chick. And probably you've been with elite girls for so long. I'm just probably an SS leaver or a teacher's training holder, and you are probably a master's holder working on your PhD. Can I walk around with that feeling of he's got me? Like 1,001 girls can come. Okay. Do I have that trust? Then you come down to the last one. When it comes to my kids, Am I trusting you as his father? Now, that is not you buying food or paying school fees. No. That is the total job of a father in full. So you are looking at your emotional availability, psychological availability, physical availability, and spiritual availability. Can I rest easy and say that, oh, when a worst case scenario, if this marriage doesn't work, he's got his case. He doesn't joke with his children. Can I say that about you? Now, when a woman does meets all these three requirements, then she can say that I trust you. So that's where the term safety comes in for women. I think one of the things we don't talk about in marriage is safety in marriage, because safety, we are taking watchman. That's not safety. There's a mental rest when a woman has. She'll give her all to her home. But in these three phases, it is not. And I believe you've probably encountered where you have your friends who are married, probably talking about marriage, and they'll go like, hey, as for my husband, there, this one there, he won't do. Oh. So it means that they even have those clarity. So your sixth senses is giving you exactly what your man is and what your man isn't. In the other side of it, parallel to the loyalty, if I'm exhibiting true friendship with you and I trust in our friendship, it will stem from the small, small things that you are doing. Okay. When I embarrassed myself in public, how did you save me out of the situation? So that's how I will measure loyalty. Right. Then when we come to you as a husband, when we got to a party where maybe I'm not the socializing type, but when we got there, they started, doing things that will put me in an uncomfortable situation. You were the first to go like, hey, mama metete me, here, mommy, like, don't disturb my wife for me. She doesn't dance. Is that your concern? My friend, get away. And then you saved the situation. So then I feel secured. So that's where security stems from. Then when it comes to your kids, do you lose your head when there are distractions with regards to your role as a father in the house? So my loyalty with regards to you as a husband, that's what it means. So in me having those trust will stem from your expression in terms of all the loyalty. When all these things are together, we say there's trust in a relationship. Believe me, there's no middle ground. So if you don't have any of them, then you don't have trust in your relationship. Okay. It's more of a transactional relationship.
I know you want to add something, but let me ask you. Let me ask you first off. We know people want to be surrounded, and surrounded by trustworthy people and loyal people as well. Let's get to know the significance of it. Even why is it so important that you are surrounded around by trustworthy people and loyal people?
Just don't know how to start answering that.
Probably a metaphor on how she can exist without breathing will make sense.
It's very important.
Exactly. So that's the question you just asked.
Okay, so that is the foundation.
Okay, so let me give you this scenario. Probably it will help you.
Okay.
You fight with your wife in the evening, or your girlfriend. These days, ladies cook. Please keep cooking. You also keep eating. Very important. You go to the kitchen, and she has a sausage in her hands. She picks a knife, starts chopping it, chop, 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 and squeezing the face, looking at you in a particular way. You know the shape of that sausage. It represents something. Then in the night, you go and sleep with your eyes closed. You don't even remember to open your eyes. You are still angry. You sleep without putting cameras. You sleep without opening one eye, thinking something will happen to you later in the evening. When you hear something, she, cutting something. You sleep. Now, what made you sleep that soundly? Whilst there was an issue in the house. Mm-hmm. In that same circumstance. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you saw the way she was cutting that thing, if you don't trust her, you think that her anger will change the sausage into something else. You will be the one being butchered. So trust is very vital. There are a lot of spaces around us that we are blind to. There are things, you see, one beautiful thing about relationship or marriage is being vulnerable. and knowing that your vulnerability is still your strength
Yeah.
in the presence or the absence of your partner.
Yeah.
It is golden. That is why, in fact, very soon, if you call now woman of steel, men will think she's not vulnerable. and that promotion, hey, woman of steel, we want to be steel and she's steel. Two steels crashing together, they chan, 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 chan.
No, we'll produce an alloy.
So vulnerability is golden
Yeah.
in every relationship. Look, there are certain elements of trust that we don't even, certain actions, putting your head on top of your partner and then watching TV or having a cool down time. Trust me, it builds trust. It's like that moment, momentarily, you may forget about all your problems.
Your defenses are
Your
down.
defenses are down.
Samson tried it. And he nearly died.
Exactly. Samson in the Bible tried it.
But that's what happened.
And he nearly died. So look at these stories. They build up your defensive walls anytime you are with what is happening on radio, on TV, people shooting people here and there. So if you don't have an element of trust in any form of relationship you are in, that is when your partner is on a bike. And there was something I read recently. They said, when there is no trust, is when, honey, where are you? I'm at church. Put Jesus on the line. Let me talk to you. Oh, yes, you want to put Jesus on the line to see. Exactly. Put Jesus on the line. Let me see whether you are really at church. And if Jesus doesn't talk, it's another issue altogether. I've seen people riding bikes and doing video calls because their spouse have to know whether they are really on a bike or not.
I've had a friend tell me that before. Her husband is abroad, so she was on a bike. She was riding. Apparently, the man has the whole house. There is CCTV camera everywhere. So once she's not home, the husband knows she's not in the house. So one time, I think the husband had gone out for something, didn't know where she was, and she called and there was no answer. So she had to step out. When she was riding, a call came in. It was a video call, and she was like, "I'm riding." She's like, "Let me see." I just didn't understand. Like,
Trust is the lifeline
I had a client
to
like
every
that also.
relationship.
it's absurd sometimes. I'm riding. This is like I'm on the road. I'm on a highway.
That's how essential a currency it is.
Classy, it's you see, people think it's not difficult, actually, to trust. You just have to be available. You have to allow yourself
I
to
don't
trust.
agree with that.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
People do trust easily.
Okay.
On the lighter side, a lot of people have sex without condom. What makes them do that? In the space of HIV/AIDS, they are able to come up with sexually transmitted infections, diseases all over. They are able to just have some kind of do their own math based on the personality of the person and give a certain aspect of their life. This is a detrimental situation. Having a disease that can never be cured in your life, though you can live, they are able to. It means innately, all of us have the ability to do the trusting. As to whether your capacity, based on your experiences or whatever thing, the person you are also with will also do things to build up. It doesn't just come that up. Okay. It starts somewhere. Remember, one vital element of trust is consistency. Okay. The more the person is consistent in something they do, then it builds your trust. Today, he was that. Tomorrow, he was that. The next day, he was that. Now, I can predict that in future, this is how this person will behave. So in your vulnerability, if somebody is able to hold you down, it will go a long way. So trust, in fact, any relationship without trust growing as a seed in that relationship, it's already ended before it even started.
All right. So for you, it means you would answer my previous question that trust comes before loyalty.
Trust, you can't be loyal to somebody. Well, in some, if someone doesn't trust you and he says he's loyal, it's just a matter of the test that I spoke about. When things go bad, when that test comes, that person will fail. It means that their loyalty to you could be transactional. It could be based on something they are getting around you. But here, we are not talking about those mere loyalty. We are talking about loyalty till death. You know, that's extreme kind of.
Do you still remember what you wanted to dispute when he made a point?
Yeah, I mean, he's saying that it's not easy, it's not difficult to trust. Sometimes, in the spur of the moment, we get careless with our actions. It doesn't necessarily mean that we trust. You see, trust has meaning to different people at different phases of their life. I can do a very foolish act, but in the heat of the moment, it doesn't necessarily mean that I trust. So, for instance, there's this girl I've been eyeing for so long. I don't know why men's brain function like that sometimes. But like, there's this girl they have been chasing, and they know that this today that they have gotten this girl, she goes out that door. Now, last with that. In that moment, it wouldn't matter if she stinks, if she's unclean, if she's whatever, you lie bad.
Okay.
After going on a hunting trip, today where I catch meat, I for chop 'em. At that moment, trust is not functioning in that conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you're thinking.
He has nothing to say. It's
Oh, no,
a man
I do.
thing.
I do, actually.
It's a man thing.
I do.
Titus, you want to tell me that in that heat, it's a man thing. Like I don't know. Let me put it this way. It's like a girl that's obsessed with a guy. The day he gets the guy, especially if he's been fantasizing
About him.
the first day he saw him without shirt, it's like, God, if I'm on this chest, I don't reach heaven. You know, like today, dear, like this guy, he lie. I have to finish him. You know, we have girls like that. At that moment of, being able to seduce the guy, it seems more an achieved feat than it is of something intentional. But in the context of the trust we are talking about, it's trust you are consciously giving out to a person. So
Okay.
yes, trust is not cheap.
I'm not saying trust is cheap. Not at all.
Okay.
All these people you have described and all the women you have described, they didn't get to where they are just by an event. You have described a woman. She has described a woman who has fantasized about a man, and when they got the opportunity, he just had to do it. People don't just fantasize once in their lifetime and they do that. It's as a result of certain actions that led them to that event. And those actions has built that kind of, I've done it once, twice, nothing happened. Therefore, this is also a possibility. So what I'm trying to say is that at that level where you are doing something continuously, it makes you available to trust, open to trust.
Yeah, but the trust is more to self than trust
Okay.
offered out.
All right.
They trust
That's
themselves
fine.
that not.
So we actually need to go. We need to go on a commercial break. When we come back on the CA show, we're just getting started. There's still more in stock for you. Don't go nowhere. Thanks for sticking around. Here is NTV, and this is the CA show right on your screens. Now, if you're watching via social media, this is quite interesting. I want you to get interactive with us. Share with us your comments or your thoughts, opinions on this particular matter as well. But my general question with regards to what we're discussing, that is loyalty and trust in marriage. I want to find out, this is a general question to everyone. Are you a trustworthy person? Can you call yourself a loyal person to someone else? If not, well, let me know what your answers will be. I know Nuri is not. Yeah, he definitely is not. But let's move on. Make sure you're following us on social media at the CH. I have with me Madam Nakwale Richardson and Mr. Titus on this discussion. Now, Mr. Titus, let me come back to you. You know, a lot have been said, even behind the scenes and stuff like that. But let's get to outline what can one look out for in identifying a loyal from a disloyal person, and also let's differentiate a loyal person from a disloyal person as well.
One of the most important things to know whether someone's loyalty transcends what you are seeing is when things move out of order. In any relationship, there are the bad times, there are the good times. Anyone will love someone easily, probably when things are good, when there is money, when things are flowing nicely. So the people associate with people for different kind of reasons. There are times somebody will love you for your money. There are times someone is just with you for emotional kind of support or whatever they are going to get from you.
Or sex, good sex.
Good sex could be the factor. Wait until you have an erectile dysfunction, or wait until something goes bad, businesses start dropping, and wait until something goes wrong. I mean, the tough times. Those tough times are the tests of loyalty in most cases.
Okay.
When things are okay, the probability that the person stays when things are right is very high. So a disloyal person, when things get tough, finds excuses and ways of withdrawing. Their devotion goes down. Their allegiance start wavering. People start tempting them with others. You know, in relationship, for instance, when a woman is loyal to you, when a woman is emotionally attached to you, that is when she's in love with you, most of them will cut everyone off. And that's one thing men do expect. When a woman is in love with you and she starts posting herself naked on social media and whatever thing, she's exposing herself to other men.
Yeah.
And other men will also come into the picture. But the loyal ones, they concentrate on the man, no matter what the person has or doesn't have in that state. Remember that sometimes men think, when men don't have money, they think they don't have anything at all. But women see things that men don't see. Beyond. Actually, women see the future of a man before they make such decisions. Now I outline some of them. So whatever they are thinking, will this man be a good father? Will this man be able to take care of my family? Not now, not your now.
No.
If you have it now, that's okay
Yeah.
for them. But they're able to see through you by a certain kind of action you are portraying now.
The little things.
The little things.
Reason sometimes when a woman is so much in love with a man who, let me say, is not of the same standard or class, they're like, what exactly are you seeing in this man?
Exactly. They are asking. Sometimes she can't explain, but it's an innate intuition.
Yes.
That Ebefa, this thing will work at this particular time. Some will stick to, well, I mean, Ghana, we have the sack and then Tracy Sarkodie's
kind of story.
Yes, at least that is the vivid example we would give. I mean, the nothing days, that is loyalty.
Yeah.
That is loyalty. She could have had any guy. She could have had any man. But she didn't expose herself to that environment, but she stuck in her lane. So that is one way to measure someone's loyalty.
It doesn't mean it's good, though.
No. It doesn't mean it not at all.
Yes,
it doesn't mean it's good.
We are not encouraging
no,
that.
not at all.
Uh-huh.
I say that these things come natural. They are natural events. They are not something manufactured or manipulated. There is one thing about trust and loyalty. When you are with someone, these two things grow. They grow together. So if you manufacture these trial times, as they are not mature in that period, you might have forced an event that is not ready to happen. And that can cause the relationship to break at any point in time. So people, based on the actions people do, you will know whether you can trust them or not. And that will build your loyalty. Does this man say what he says he will do? I will call you at 6 o'clock p.m. When he couldn't call at 6 o'clock p.m., what was his reason did he give? Was he able to call back at another time? When he says, I will pick you up, if he wouldn't be able to pick up, what does he do? These are the little things. So it gets to a stage that one of the highest form of trust, it gets to a stage where you may not give an excuse, but your partner gives that excuse on your behalf. So he's not angry. But when it is not consistent in that nature, today he says this, tomorrow, in fact, when you ask him, last time he said, what prevented you from coming? He will manufacture a new story. Are you not the one who said this and that and that and that and that and that? And then it happens. And then there is also one thing you can know somebody is not trustworthy. When the person says, trust me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, something happened yesterday. We were having this conversation, and the person, I told someone that the moment somebody says, trust me, just don't make that mistake. Even you yourself, you know, because situations can make you do things that, you never
sometimes,
found.
you see, when we talk about trust, we are also, we try to be flexible and bring the human nature as part of it. Because if you become very rigid, that things have to go in a particular way, in a certain order, aligned, stars aligned, you may get it wrong. Because our human nature comes in. Strangely, men, in the other hand, may lie. In a particular instance. Sometimes, men tell lies sometimes to protect.
Most times.
All the time.
Oh, come on. I will just one male against most times at least. But all the time makes...
We have different definitions. Sometimes me, I say all the time.
So, yeah, so in this, when you look at the nature of a man in certain circumstances, you must put all these things into context, into consideration, to see whether this person is trustworthy, is he disloyal or not. But most of the time, personally, I think when it comes to the loyalty business, women are more loyal. Their definition is very open and more seeable than what men will assume when they are attached to you.
Is it so hard to say women are more loyal than men?
Women
he was
are
going
more
to
loyal.
say it, then he now had to bypass.
Women are more loyal.
And give,
Women are more loyal than men.
It's not like you're going back and forth
in that
with
sense.
it.
So, but disloyal people, disloyal people, you can see them.
Let me add up to what he's saying. Loyalty for women is not the same as men, like I explained earlier. For the men, it's more of a math.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so for instance, if you're not a very sensitive man and you are the type of man that's always in your masculinity, you don't allow vulnerability. When you meet women who begin to induce your vulnerability with some sense of safety, rather than embrace it, they like to run away because then you seems like the next Delilah in their life.
Definitely.
Like this one there, nah.
Run
The way they
away.
get, they make her feel. I know they like
Run away, bro.
You understand? However, if you're not inducing that, but you start playing the rational system with him, he comes back from work, he's talking about sports, you would say something. He's talking about maybe business, you contribute something. Like when it comes to management, your sense of responsibility, things that feed into his masculine ego and then make him feel like, oh yeah, I mean, Charlie,
I'm the man.
I get support here. For a man, that's an automatic signature for loyalty.
Yeah.
You've been marked for loyalty, but then they now would have to go through the experience of building the trust to warrant the loyalty when it comes up. Okay. So, for instance, even though you are giving him advice, the first thing is he will give you money to see how you run the money. For us women, it is not like that. You start so for instance, the first time you met him, you're like, this one, if you turn my husband out, it will be bad. Oh. So right from there, you are very specific with what you're looking for. So you start observing how he talks to women. Yeah. So even before you get the experience, you have seen that he's mannered. Okay. Check. Then you start checking him. When he's out with his friends, does he drink needlessly? Does he smoke needlessly? Okay. So the more you are watching, the more you start aligning with
Yourself,
him. So
yeah.
even his issues come up, without he even having to propose to you, you start defending him.
Yeah.
You've aligned your loyalty. And then the trust begins to build itself. And it is not trust he's giving you.
No.
It is trust you have observed and trust that your senses are verifying. So the real problem starts from when you have to differentiate between, is this who he is, or is this what he's offering if I am to go in with him? So that's the differences between loyalty for us as women and for us as men.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not easy here. It's not. Marriage is not an easy thing.
Meant to sleep.
Crazy women.
They are not supposed to
We're supposed to be wide awake to understand us perfectly. To understand that perfectly. But even though, I mean, why is there the need for us to trust or be surrounded with by loyal and trustworthy people? We could just be living our lives, right? We could just be living.
You see, we yearn for affiliation. God in his wisdom did everything 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2. So affiliation is not necessarily intimacy.
Okay.
Affiliation is having that sense of belonging. So even in the plant kingdom, there's the male and there's the female. Because we recognize that there's a constitution for unity. It is necessary. It's not negotiable. So it doesn't matter whether you're married or not. Everybody wants to belong to something. Everybody wants to feel needed. Even if it's momentarily, it's there, which is why God has solutions for everything with our body except our feelings. There's no, have you found anybody having a cure for arousal, sexual feelings? Or there's no, it's not, because there's always something or someone, there's always someone responsible for filling up that space within you. It becomes evident to collect it. The question is, who is qualified to give me and who is qualified to take from me? So that's where the trust comes in. The fact that there's something on the table to be offered doesn't mean it's meant for everybody. And then when it comes to the relational component, there's a unique element. What works for Ya will not work for Memunatu. What works for Hakim will not work for Titus. So when you and I are able to find our rhythm vis-a-vis our differences, we build a trust on a sense of acceptance. So I know that my leg is twisted, but it's in my trousers. But Classy doesn't mind. She loves me like that. So trust feeds into our acceptance of our imperfections, which is why trust is necessary. Because the moment it becomes transactional, there's no trust. It means we have a timeline. And when we come together, the first thing in your head is, till we do, death do us part. So if it is till death do us part, my mind needs to condition itself that I'm going to rely on Classy when I am 50 years old, when I'm 60 years old. If there should be an accident today, I'm going to need Classy. Is Classy reliable? Is Classy dependable? And that is the mindset you use for marriage. So trust is not negotiable. It is like the lifeline to every relationship. What can I rest on you for?
So we do need it.
Classic. You need it. Look, the fact that you are communicating in the house, for you to be able to give the right information to your partner, just certain information are very sensitive and they show your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay, look, our feelings makes us vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know why men don't cry? Aside the fact that when we cry, our face looks very, some of us, it causes the weather to change all of a sudden. It's because we become so vulnerable.
Yes.
One thing that is very golden is for a man to trust you
With his vulnerability.
with his vulnerability.
That's not easy.
It rarely happens.
At all.
When you get a man to trust you with his vulnerabilities,
That he loves you.
then you have reached that. Look, you are in heaven on earth.
Yes.
Because that man
There's
wouldn't.
nothing he won't do for
There
you.
is absolutely nothing that man wouldn't do for you. And that is very difficult. If you don't trust, how can you communicate? How can your woman go outside, come back and tell you, Charlie, there was a guy who came to the office and the way he was dressed, I just liked the way he was dressed, so I bought this clothes for you. If you don't trust your woman, the next time you go and probably you know that guy, and there is a small call in the house and it comes. So I don't know. You get the point. So even in communication, trust has to be there. Else, there are certain information that wouldn't go to your partner. You are going to keep them. And sometimes keeping them may harm the relationship in the long run. And it's a teamwork also. That's very good. You know, the family is a teamwork. If trust doesn't run, children don't trust that. To some extent, there are times when your child tells you something, they don't expect you to tell mom. When you tell mom, they don't expect mom to come, you know, they know how mom does her things. So they use the daddy option for daddy to suit them in that. So there are kids, even in that space, trust functions very well. If trust doesn't exist, then the whole
There's
family.
no dependability if there's no
Yeah.
trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on from this particular question. Now, I know people test the loyalty of people, and where there is this popular statement that a woman's loyalty is tested when the man has nothing, and the man's loyalty is also tested when the man has everything, right? And we've even seen circumstances where even very well-to-do people would have to pretend to be poor or something else, you know, otherwise than what they are, in order in order to get, their own form of true love or something very real, from what they know and what they have. And so, do you recommend that people test people? If yes, fine, but what if it fails? Or what if they fail?
I think the dumbest thing to do. I'm sorry, but it's I've suffered from it. And it became one of the reasons why I stopped dating. Like, it was too much nonsense for me. I think the dumbest thing people do is test people. But you see it, when you don't have principles with trust, when you don't even understand what trust is, and you have a perceived perception of what trust is, you live around with that sense of defense all the time. And so even when you meet real trust, you spend your time destroying it. I told somebody, I think 10 years ago, I told somebody that.
Hey, 10 years ago, you still remember? Wow. Okay.
Are you for real?
Do you women forget anything in life?
No, she does, apparently.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
And I was like, I don't think, I'm not looking at my age mates when it comes to men, because there's this stress they put women through that I'm not interested in. I prefer the older men who they just see, like, they know, like, this is real. So you meet guys and they don't understand why you are not dramatic. I've had those issues. I've had like boyfriends that would get angry that I don't get jealous. They feel like my affection is not enough. And I ask them that this head is for making money. You think I have holiday inside to be chasing you and girls? For what reason? I can't do that. Now you meet people that don't. I used to be abused. I used to having their trust taken for granted. I used to so many disloyal people that when you are showing them loyalty, it's like, nah, this one be fake. Make a trial. They tried the first one, you passed. Second, you pass. Third, you pass. It's still not enough. And the problem isn't that you are faking. The problem is that they don't trust themselves. Okay. Because if I trust in my ability to discern in characters, I am in the position to say that this one, people can pretend, but this one, this is genuine. You understand me? Because look, let me tell you, poverty does not dim a woman's arrogance. I don't know why. I think it's the Nigerian movies that has done that mistake to us. I'm being serious. A woman that has mouth, even if she has one CD, the mouth, it will work. There's nothing you are going to do to calm her down. And a lot of the time, the test is even the worst ones. The test is between you and your partner. That is easy to fake. What is not easy to fake is how people relate to others on the outside. If my man is kind, it is not what he's showing me. It is what he's showing outside. So it means I have a foundation to build on. Is he a kind person in general? Yes, he is. Is he kind to me as his partner? Because I know people who show off to the world, but when you enter their homes, they are the stingiest people you can even think of in their own homes. So I always find something very wrong when we keep running that test system. There's always that conversation that makes people lose their guards. You have a girl that is busy showing off, playing all tough, all hard girl. Just sit her down, calmly. So what do you want from a man? That question, she will sit there for 30 minutes and be blabbering. She will never be able to answer. And it will tell you exactly what she's thinking. It means that she herself doesn't even have a definition. Until we get to that, you see, you need to know what is right to demand it. But when you don't know, you wouldn't know what it is. You get it. They say real, identifies real. If I'm a loyal person, I understand what loyalty is. When I meet my classmates, I know. But if I am not loyal, if I am not trustworthy, let me give you an example. I want to quit smoking. And I take a decision that, or let me use alcohol. Smoking is a bit more difficult to quit. Alcohol. And then you decide that the whole of this week, no coke, no alcohol, you won't drink. Then you are just in the room, somebody calls, brother man, what's up? And go like, Charlie, me I tired, I need to go out this week. Then go like, what we can't join him. My party come out, we could go out. You went there and sat there, they came to us, what would you drink? First, you had the option of not going out. You didn't do. You went and sat there, what would you drink? They said, and the next question was, what do you have? Oh, we have fruit juice, we have malt. You heard that one, we also have coke, we have adonko, we have all the alcohol you can think of. And then your boy started, Masa, maybe you can do them, can't get things here. You see, in every stage, there was a right of choice. Right. You neglect it and drink it. Right. You go back to maybe therapy and they ask, why didn't you stop? Madam is my friend, so. You see how? Good. So such a person, imagine such a person is demanding trust. From whom? You can't even keep your own words to yourself. The trust conversation, it is not between you, the partners, as much as it is about yourself. What can you beat your chest to say? Okay. Me as a man, me as Titus, I can never cheat on my wife. Can I didn't say no. I didn't
Just mention my name on national television.
Are you the only Titus? Me now, whenever I meet men and I think I like them, I tell them, I can bet my last cent I will never cheat on you. Yeah. I can bet my last cent I will never make you unhappy. My question is, can you return it? And you see, once you say that, they begin to expect it. And they are seeing that you hold your words accountable. There's an accountability in the trust conversation. When you are accountable to yourself, you can demand it. And there's no need to write an exam on it.
On that. Okay. Yes. Let's get to Mr. Titus.
So, the statement of a man's, you said that a woman's trust is determined when a man is broke. Is that not it?
No, I mean,
a woman's loyalty.
I'm asking if you would recommend testing.
Testing.
No, you made
yes,
a phrase.
You made a phrase.
That's what
I
he
said
said.
a woman's loyalty is tested when the man has nothing.
Yes.
And the man's loyalty is also tested when he has everything.
Okay, so that is where I have a little, now has said a lot on the question, but a man's faithfulness is what is tested when he has everything. Because men will process loyalty as the fact that they have taken the job of taking care of you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do you
So he
understand?
will be there.
So you will be there. He will give you everything. So a man's loyalty, most of the time, our brain will process that I give you everything. I said
So
I'll
I've
take care
been
of
loyal
you.
to
So I've been
you.
loyal to
Yes.
you. But a man's faithfulness, whether is rather tested when he has everything. But a woman's loyalty is tested when the man is broke, because women basically would want security. They would want to be fed. They would want,
Protection.
women were not created to suffer, actually, in that sense.
We are baby last
Baby
from
last
heaven.
from
Are you
heaven.
going to change our status?
So if by that circumstance she still stays, then it means she has passed the loyalty test. But Classy, won't life, all the life that you are going to live on this earth, wouldn't it present some of these situations for you to be tested enough than you to create your own artificial test environment and put your spouse in?
Exactly.
Know this also, that relationship is growth. You move from class 1
To class
to
2.
class 2. The trust you have gained in class 1
It's not
will
the same.
produce the loyalty for class 1.
Yeah.
If you bring a test for class 3 and your partner to class 1 and your partner fails, it doesn't mean
They are
not loyal or they are not
Exactly.
trustworthy. It means their capacity has not been built
To that level.
tolerate that level of test you gave them. So you don't do that. And even loyalty, there are spaces where people become prone to be disloyal.
Yes.
Okay.
Work.
Yes,
Work is a
Exactly.
family is another example.
I was even coming there with a follow-up question where like people will test you with what exactly you need. Like they know you need this thing at a party. Maybe your mother is sick, seriously sick at the hospital, and you probably need money to be able to take care of her. Then they'll go and bring some friends somewhere, give the person money to come and test you. At that point, let's just be honest. At that point, what would you
In
do?
my desperation and lowest point.
You get
That's
it?
when-
You test me.
Mensa, with all the knowledge
Even if I
in
pass
your
and
head.
I find out there's nothing that will make me stay with you.
That is wickedness.
That's wickedness.
In the highest order.
Because in your lowest state, I always say this, when it comes to adultery, it goes both ways. I've seen men who are faithful to their spouses and their friends force them to cheat on their spouses. I've seen men who are faithful to their spouses. They had these small mosquito coils that come by in the form of boobs and dresses in their offices. I was sitting with one at 11 p.m. midnight. The girl called and was like, so you won't let me try you. You won't try me. I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. The girl said,
She said
try
what?
me. She said, why? I'm doing everything. You are not minding me.
Damn.
She said, try me if you don't like it. So
Damn.
imagine
Damn.
such a situation. The devil finds work.
Ayeka.
Massa,
don't-
this one, so many issues with loyalty. I always say that situations will come and test you,
They will
whether
come
you want it
or not.
Don't subject your partner to
To
that.
it. Not
It's
at all.
unfair.
Not at all. If you do that, you have failed as a man. Or you have to
That
protect
is
your
trust
partners.
that you have broken. You will never
You will
recover
never regain
from.
it. You will never recover. No, not at all.
Still one there, but then it is still going on the CA show. Madam Nakwale, Mr. Titus, myself, Queen Classy, on loyalty and trust in marriage. You'll take a quick turn of the camera again when we come back. We still have more for you. Don't go nowhere.
Explore the innovation and imagination behind epic movie making. Apply for our training courses in filmmaking at TMP Film Academy, located at Tamale, Ward K. Our 6 months intensive training program will introduce you to directing, script writing, cinematography, photography, lighting, production sound, editing, graphic design, and many more. You will receive hands-on technical training through behind-the-scenes breakdowns, concept development, storylines, student productions, and mentorship by seasoned and experienced industry professionals. Enroll now. Pick up the admission forms for 100 Ghana cedis. For more enquiries, call or WhatsApp 050-486-8483 or 024-125-1400. TMP Film Academy, unearthing the creativity in you.
Thank you for staying around, everyone. If you're just joining us, here is NTV, and this is the CA Show, the Classy and Sassy Show. You can follow us on social media, get updated on all that is happening on the show, get first-hand information on what will be happening on the show on Facebook at the CA Show. Also, we're streaming live on our platform. You can watch us on the go at your own convenience. Again, you can even visit back again this conversation, that is loyalty and trust in marriage. I'm doing this with Mr. Titus and Madam Kwale Richardson, and they have been doing justice to this particular topic. My name is Queen Classy, as you always. We just concluded on the testing of partners in relationships and marriage as well. Now, there has been this assertions and examples, instances have been given on that particular one, especially for ladies where, you know, they can just, I don't know whether we should call it a prank or very expensive pranks, very expensive pranks where, you know, they can just call on the man and be like, I'm pregnant, I just wanted to see, or I'm pregnant, and the man reacts in whichever way, and they're like, oh, I'm kidding, I was only joking, or I was only trying to see how you would react to it. Mr. Title, you men, you face that a lot.
This is to the men out there. You are never a man until a woman tells you, I've missed my period.
I mean, if you're ready for it, why not?
Exactly. You see,
But that's a test also.
we are dating you. We spoke about different levels of loyalty. At the point in time, you know, loyalty also transitions. It could be transactional. But based on what I'm seeing, it could lead to something more.
Yeah.
So if we are in the transactional stage and you tell me you are pregnant, for all you know, as a man, what I need to move to the state where my loyalty to that pregnancy will transcend, I've not reached there. It will cause fear and panic. And we know when people panic, people fear. Different people have different ways of dealing with it. Some people have regretted that at the time the women told them they were pregnant, they didn't have the capacity to soak that pressure and then think their way through it. And then they took a wrong turn. If you go outside, people run away from the pregnancy. Okay. But please, if you are not pregnant, don't go, and else you would lose a man who loves you. One way or the other would have gone all the way out with you by just a prank. Okay. I was testing you.
I know someone that almost lost her marriage because of that. They had been together for almost 8 years, yeah? And she wanted money from the husband. So she went and lied that this is her, that she was pregnant with a third child. And the man said, the way things are happening with the economy and work, they should go for an abortion. She couldn't fathom that.
The man would say that.
Good.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, counselors had to come in. She felt so betrayed. She felt like, is it that we are going to choose stones? How do you tell me, your wedded wife, to go and abort if I am pregnant? Yeah. That's another topic for another day. So sometimes don't go looking for needless trouble.
Not at all.
You understand? Okay. It's not, you are running an exam on who is going to certify the exam. Exactly. Where's the board?
And the person is the marker. Anyways, for some of us that have lost it all for people, because we were true to people, we stayed loyal, we stayed true to them, we trusted them, we gave them practically our all. And in return, we were betrayed, we are emotionally damaged, we are hurt. In fact, we're hurting the more. And people have been damaged because their trust was broken somewhat. I mean, what do we have to say to people with people? What do we have to say to people who have gone through and experienced, these kind of disappointments from other people as well? So, Mr. Titus, you start from Madam.
One thing you should know is that that experience was very vital and critical to your growth as a human being. No matter how wrong that situation went. So, yes, it went bad. You have been betrayed. Your secret has been spilled out. The guy you were loyal for a whole lot of time, when he got the money, his faithfulness just came. Your husband or your wife, well, the husband has cheated. The wife cheating is another story altogether. But your husband,
You see how he's going about it.
your husband cheated on you.
As if cheating has different colors.
Loyalty is broken, trust is broken. You should know, if you are a couple, you should know that whatever you have built over the period, one way or the other, is shaking, not broken. It's just an equalizer. Both of you, your core foundation, all what you know. Remember that you have built a life of about 20 years, 30 years, 15 years. It's one event.
It could be more.
Yes, if it is small, we will get to when it is small. Then it means something is becoming a habit, either than just a breach of trust in an event or certain things that may have happened. The first thing I recommend for people to do to get back on track is, the first one is to forgive yourself. This is very important to me. You have to forgive yourself. The person, you see, I like coaching people to be selfish. It's not bad. We are all selfish in nature. I'll give you one example. Do you think we go to church because of God? No. We go to church because of ourselves. We give offering because we want more money. Is that not it?
Well, it's because you have to give.
That be sure. Hannah just said because you have to give.
give offering.
Who said because you have to give? The Bible says, give and it shall be what? So we are giving because we know when we give, it will be what? Giving. And it says, the more you are giving, the more it will be what? So the selfish nature in human, we are all selfish subconsciously. So the first person, if you can't learn how to forgive yourself, I wonder how you can forgive someone else. You have given yourself, you gave your all, you gave everything to the extent that you even overgave what you couldn't. Invested years. I mean, it's like you feel stupid. How can I be so stupid? For all you know, this is someone you are more educated than. This is someone you feel. Yes, when you consider. For all you know, at the back of your brain, there was some consideration you had to go through to accept this person into your domain. All the compromises you've gone through over the years, there were things you could have done, people you could have chosen, but you chose that man and all of us, or that woman, and all of a sudden, everything comes to a crumble. You have to forgive yourself, forgiving yourself out there. Because if you don't forgive yourself, you will not have the ability to give yourself again.
Oh, okay.
You know, immediately that happens, you build defense walls. That's what happened to women who have had multiple broken hearts. Some of them, their walls are 1,000. So if they meet true love, you have to break 1, break 2, break 3 before you get to the heart of the person. Before you get to the real person.
Let me give you my heart. I take them back.
It's not a problem. So all these things, you forgive yourself. Then after forgiving yourself, you think about forgiving the other person. Remember, for everything that happens, we have a role to play. Things don't just happen because the other person is so bad or the other person is so wicked. After analyzing, you will know that you have a role to play. Okay. Then to heal back, I will also advise that you lower your expectation. One step at a time. The little thing. If you're a married couple and it's happened within you, know that if you're a man and you did it, you have to work every day of your life to earn that trust again. It's like you've built a whole story building and you didn't just break half. You dug the whole foundation and threw it away. So this time,
You see how he's saying it? It may look like it's so horrible.
oh no. So it's very horrible to go through betrayal, distrust.
Paying a loan is not easy. It's not easy at all. You must subject yourself to the system to build trust. So if a woman says, "Where are you going?" this time you have to answer and say, "I'm going here and there," because that is what it will take for you to build that trust again.
Right.
Some, it takes time, and give yourself time. Talk, give yourself time. Sit down, analyze the situation, then give yourself time. No matter how long. Remember that you did it. You were caught. She's still there. That shows that her loyalty is still available. You can win her back, but you must work it out. It is not easy as we are saying, because when it is broken, oh, who are doing so cry baby sound? How many pieces of pure did you do? After, yes, when you are late, this time communication must be free flow. Oh, honey,
In reverse.
you will take that.
Continue.
Oh, come on. Take up and go from there.
No, in reverse.
I'm as a man, I'm speaking as a man who has lost trust with his woman. The woman will put you under scrutiny. Everything you have to, in fact, you are at her mercy now. But there comes a time where you also have to give leeway. It's not always. You have to talk to a counselor anyway. Somebody who is an expert in the field that can help you build trust back. Because sometimes in the midst of all this, anger, it will overshadow your brain. You may not think straight. You may go beyond the bars. When the third person comes in with the two of you, there can be a roadmap for you to build that trust together. There are dangers where some women never get back to any level. They still stay at round one. As soon as they see you, they see what you have done. Immediately something starts happening, then they remember you. They write all the history for a while. It gets to a time where you must let those things go and write a new page where your man start building back trust to win you over. All I'm saying is that it's work. When you break something, just imagine how you suffered to build all that's in your family, and all of a sudden it goes that way.
Take a lot more time and work to do.
Stay on the forefront, be a man, and build that relationship back to the level where it's supposed to be.
And build it right back. The reverse.
No, I will come at it at a different point. I think that I had this conversation yesterday about accountability in relationships now. And the fact that it was like, oh, now the current generation don't have this, blah, 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 blah. I said, they can't be accountable because they don't even know how they became like that. You understand? When growing up, you are indoctrinated. Like, so for a girl, once you start entering the kitchen to cook, you are indoctrinated to acquire certain skills. Not for yourself as a person, but to also be a wife. And as a man, when you turn 16, 17, 18, your grandparents, your uncles start those indoctrination. In the last 10 years, 15 years, that thing is broken. Now, the breakage has created a cycle where people don't know how they ended up the way they are. And so one, I can't figure out the source of my problem because it's not even from me. So in the case of trust and loyalty, people don't know what that is. They haven't seen examples of them to guide them. So for instance, if we are bad boys, we sleep around with girls. Loyalty for me is, if I'm going to cheat, my guy will cover me. But that's not loyalty. If we are to use the true sense of the word loyalty, if it's trust, I know say, like, I know get money, cry, my boy go sort me out. Me then you, like, brother man, back then. That is trust. But when we come to relationship, trust is not that. You understand? Because it is the MMI. You as a person, you as a spouse, and you as a parent. So you are having these three identities engulfed in one case. So trust in that packaging is different. Because then what seemed trivial in relational sense, in terms of friendship, is not the same when it comes to marriage. 2, you have grown up with a certain mindset and belief system. So your partner now needs to evolve to your thinking. And then it goes the same way to them. When you go through phases, the broken hearts and the heads, the guidance you are getting will determine if you heal, recover, and then grow out of the experience. But here's what is happening. Nobody is teaching us. Nobody is guiding us. Nobody is telling us anything. For some people, but for this topic today, the definition of loyalty
Will never be there.
has never been something that has been explained to them. And so you see that the accountability process of it is challenging. And you see the thing with trust, when you don't make yourself accountable, you don't grow out of it. So you pick broken heart. Why the broken heart? What stimulated it? Was it your unrealistic expectation? Was it you losing sight of the humanness of both parties in handling issues? Was it you recognizing the fact that maybe you were not ready and the timing was not right and all that? When accountability comes into play, half of the time, the supposed broken people don't even start asking this question. It's like, men are like this. Like somebody posted on Facebook, say, Kojo Mensa.
It's like
Excuse my language. The nonsense boy I selected is like that. Don't lump all of them together. Or say, yeah, Manu, the foolish girl I picked is the one. And it stems from, what do we think trust should be? What do we think loyalty should be? When you have that clarity, when the pain comes, you start breaking it down. You own up to your portion of the blame. You give their portion to them. Then you grow. The growth will now come from, okay, here I should have checked before believing. I did not do that. The person was never transparent. I should have insisted on transparency. I did not do that. There was supposed to be evidential, situations. I did not check that. So you don't grow into bitterness. You grow into a more sensible person where now you begin to look at the issues with a holistic eye. Feelings apart. This package, na second-hand Chinese goods or Japanese one. Which one? So you have that clarity. That way, when there are issues, it will shock you that when you answer these questions, when there are issues, you don't take them so much. Because then you know, okay, so here I missed it. Next time, let's be more careful. Then there's also the human aspect of it. When you are happy, when you are in an excited mood, sometimes you will misbehave. Own up to the fact that you are not perfect, as the other person is. So in dealing with the pain, in dealing with the situation, in the betrayal, where did you make the mistake? What did you do wrong? What was missing? Was there a false sense of belief, insecurity, and safety? Did you get it wrong from the beginning? Were you so much in cloud nine that you lost sight of the nitty-gritties that needed to be dealt with? Then when you've answered those questions, and then you move, people are in pain over perceived betrayal, which never happened. You keep asking the board, so when are we going to see my parent? And anytime you go like that, Masa. You've been hearing Masa. But because he came back with pizza the next day,
You forgot about it.
you forgot the Masa. Then after 2 years, you saw him with Memunatu and saved the date. And you were angry. The Masa was your answer. But you were so engrossed in how handsome he looks, the pizza he was bringing, maybe the small treats he was giving you. The clarity should be there. And then you can
learn from it. Now, what about this as well? Where, okay, so if you've experienced heartbreak or disappointment, no once, twice, thrice, in fact, almost every time you
Funny.
Yeah, it's chronic. Chronic. It means, is there a problem in the selection or the choice of man or partner? With you? It's not the choice of partner.
Let me go a bit personal here. One of the challenges I get in my dating life is that I have a business life. I have a life for work. That is where the woman of steel comes in. I have a business life, and then I have a personal life. I have the life where I am like the coolest, the silliest, the funniest, like the sweet person. I don't show that until we are close. In business, I don't do that. I'm a businesswoman. We are talking business. We are taking decisions. You have to run around, do this. Now, most of the men that are drawn to me, they are drawn to my aggression. I look like a little tigress. They want to catch. Yeah, they want to catch you and tame you,
of course.
and claim dominance as like
Your demeanor brings out the masculinity.
yeah, and
in
so
them,
and
yes,
so
so-
they're like, let me
tame you down,
let
yeah.
me bring her down.
Of course.
So they walk in, and then they get to experience just a teeny bit of my vulnerability, because a lot of the time I even keep them away from my hard parts, because that's work. Like, I don't go there. Like, I take no prisoners in that area. So I let them experience me. That is so alien to them. We go on an experiment. They want to be sure if I am faking, if I am doing this, and they don't get it, that I have a work life. So one day I asked someone, he said, "You are too honest. It's a bit weird." Like, I'm saying practical things. Like, you don't get jealous easily. I had someone that fought with me because I was not jealous. I said, when I met you, the girls were there. I'm like, you want me to leave my work and come and fight you over a girl? I look at my face. Do I look like I would do that? And he was, this was not a funny issue. Like, we were at it for weeks. I'm like, you want me to get jealous? Don't worry. I'll show you jealousy. It's not me. Because then you employ reasoning in the relationship, like your sense of level-headedness, and they don't get it. Like, for them, it doesn't make sense how that works. So a lot of the time, it is people's perception when they are walking into the spaces, and what you are presenting to them. Me, I'm not going to change. I've said that to myself. When you come in, I make it clear. You see this one that you are seeing, that's my work life. If you want to get to know me, we are going on a journey. Are you ready? The moment you say no, Otilon, we save ourselves that stress. I have principles about love. Others don't. You catch my drift. So the real problem a lot of the time may not necessarily be that the men are not correct. It is your positioning. The other aspect too is your perception of what is the best might not be a correlation to what is actually good for you. So a lot of the time, like, you want to be with an intellectual, and I've seen men like that. They are drawn to intelligent women, but are intimidated by their expression. Yes, I spent the first 30 years of my life behaving like an idiot. Like, if I'm not that close to you, you will never see anything intelligent about me. Like, I was the clown. I was the silliest, but in my circle of friends, I was the go-to for advice. Like, everyone was like, oh, I'm going to Irama. I'm going to Irama. And people were like, that girl, she's, do you have any idea what she's, and it was because it was uncomfortable being that person. But then when I decided to show that, my problems even multiplied. Yes, because you are expected to be pretty and stupid. Do you understand? You are like a robot. Like, today, switch the brain off. Tomorrow, bring it back on. And that becomes a problem. So people need to figure out what you want. Now, whatever it is you are looking for, how are you presenting yourself to them? Because when you have that clarity, as I sit here, the kind of men that come after me, you'll be surprised. Because there's a level. It goes with, like, what it is that I represent now. So if you keep presenting a sexy, or sensual appearance, people are coming in because you look tasty. They're not coming in because this is someone I think is smart, is intelligent, I can reach, is beautiful, I can do something, I can build a life with. So maybe you should also check yourself. What is missing with you? Okay. And then that will help.
But it's simple. Just something small on that. Consider yourself as a product
Very good.
out there on the market. There are every product available on the market today has certain kind of customers, even those that do not advertise. You will never see cars like Lamborghini, Mercedes-Benz doing adverts on TV, yet people buy them. Is that not a fact? Now, when a product is attracting a certain market, but the manufacturer thinks that, no, I want to target
A certain,
a certain market of probably a higher value for more sophistication. They go back to the room, redesign, sometimes they rebrand the product. It may be the same milk
Yeah.
or the same thing, but they have rebranded it to be catchy to a certain set of people. So that is what you have to do. If you keep on having the same results, stay back, rebrand yourself. And it involves rebranding the way you think, the way you perceive, even how your appearance outside. Because, classy, when I'm with, as you walking around, not every guy sees you outside and proposes to you. Some will see you and only admire, hey, Bensi, FO, and they let it go. Because the brand you are carrying, certain people will also master the courage. You have set some kind of standard and pedigree. And the fear here is that make sure that when you brand yourself, you sell yourself in the right market. Else, if you brand yourself as a Lamborghini and you go and put yourself at Kandishi, people come and touch. Hey, car nephew.
I'm telling you.
Car nephew. They will be touching you and they will never purchase. So it's you have to be smart about it. That is why you have to tune into programs like this. Because this is where we give you that wisdom.
The one your friends are not
getting
telling you. What's
so
classy?
If you brand yourself well and you identify the market, trust me, people there will purchase. You don't brand yourself Trasaco branding and you go and sell yourself at
Nah, it won't.
no, Nima, people will come. Who doesn't like Benz? They will come and touch. Hey, that is a nice Benz.
Nice car.
Nice car. Look at the car. Look at the tie. They will feel the tie. They will feel, but they will never buy. Right. Because they will feel.
For lack of time, we have to go on this one. But then somebody could just be watching us, and maybe from what you have said, the person have realized that it looks like there's nothing like loyalty or trust in my dictionary. I don't think I've ever.
All of them watch it.
So how do we even go about it? You know, now okay, I want to become a better and a trustworthy person. Let's conclude on that one quickly.
Titus, you first.
Yes, Mr. Titus first.
Have that communication with your partner.
It's very important. You see, you can't demand something
No, you don't have.
that you don't have. And you can't give something that you also don't have. I mean, what are you demanding for your partner? For yourself. If you are loyal to yourself, if you are truthful to yourself, that this is what I really like, this is what I really want. When your partner is giving it out, you are going to value what he's giving. And you are going to see it's authentic or it is not authentic. So it is just, first, deal with yourself. Most of the time, our background, Nan just spoke about childhood growth. And when you come from certain homes and certain families, because of what has happened, it twists your brain and it pushes your thinking. You are wired differently.
To be a certain way.
Yes. So it makes it difficult for you to even know when someone is presenting to you authenticity.
Yeah.
And you would say, that's this one is me, dear.
Me, I'm like this.
That is how I am.
Yes.
Trust me, when we should dig deeper within you, that is not who you are. It is something that has molded you into that, and it can be changed. So if you trust yourself, everything is about self. In a relationship, it is you giving yourself away. It's never about the person coming to you. you, whatever you have made yourself to be, whatever you have valued yourself to be, whatever you have accumulated over the years. If it is anger, you are giving that. So if you learn how to trust yourself, if you learn how to be loyal to yourself, if you start saying, today I will do this, you start doing them, then you can move on to the next person and demand that same kind of result from them. Oh, Kwesi, if you say you call me at 6, I devote my time to receiving that call. So if that call doesn't come, it really messes up my day. I would appreciate it if you be consistent in that. And Kwesi also makes an effort that if I wouldn't meet that demand that my partner is putting on me, I'll find a space or I'll find a reason to, calm the effect in that aspect. So I think,
we can just give you a minute.
Nat doesn't talk for a minute.
I know, right?
What's that supposed to mean?
That's supposed to be the whole show.
To explain in detail, whatever.
No, what? Can you imagine? You've even smelled what I'm going to say. What I would say is, in your darkest moment, in the time where nobody is around, where all the noise is, where every distraction is off, and I think most of the time we don't do those things. We don't sit still.
The noise is too much.
There's so much distraction around us. We are not even talking to ourselves. So when everybody is quiet, when you evaluate your pains and your hurt, with regards to betrayal, trust, with regards to disloyalty, with regards to rejection, ask yourself, what would you have preferred somebody do for you? Then you ask yourself, have you been doing that? So once you are able to answer those questions, if you have not been, set a target for yourself and start. Transparency is key to trust and loyalty. So work on that, and I think you'll be good to go. Because when you have trust, believe me, when somebody is lying, you will just know. Yeah.
If you create that environment, anyone coming in will automatically
Learn.
to that.
Okay.
They'll struggle to learn.
All right.
Because they know your work is your bond.
Okay. I want to thank you so much for today. It's been a lot, but we're finally at the end of the show. Thank you so much for your patience and your time, and for all that you do for us here behind the scenes even of the CS show. I want to thank you. Now, my general question to you tonight has been if you are a trustworthy or a loyal person. If not, question yourself, like they have said, examine yourself and make sure you become a better person, if not for yourself, but for another person, because we all want to be surrounded by people we can trust and can be called loyal people. Now, I asked this particular question on social media, and a few of you kept your questions or your opinions about it coming. I posted on the CS Show platform on Facebook, why has staying loyal and trusting your partner been difficult lately? And also, are you a trustworthy and loyal person to your partner? A few of you shared your views with us. I want to just break that in. Benedicta says, Queen, this question is a lot. I wish Facebook would have a recording version so I can send you my voice on this particular one, because I have a lot to share. Ben says, it looks like a very good discussion. Loyalty and trust, a very big discussion. Okay, Immoral Lukman says, trust is not something common you can find in a human being, not to talk of in relationship. I do not have one in my life yet, but what I know is that I am loyal to all the people who know me. Hussein says, I love this topic, my queen. Okay, all right, so those are just a few ones I can share with you for the sake of time. Thank you to the production team. We had a lot of people behind today. I'm not sure we have Nuru, and right, we had Daniel as well, and my favorite as well, Best Boy. I wanted to thank you also for your time, and also to TMP Film Academy and TMP Film Studios. Make sure that you are heading to TMP Film Academy in order to learn all that you're seeing on your screens at the moment. Do not forget, you can reach them out on social media, or a number is displayed. I'm sure the advert has been rolling, and you have seen what they have been doing as well. Come to Clinton Lodge and Restaurant for comfortability when it comes to hospitality. They are #1 in Northern Ghana. And so if you're coming into Tamale, do not be afraid, because Clinton Lodge and Restaurant has got you covered. Serene environment and also entertainment for you as well. My name is Queen Classy. Thank you to our General Manager, Mr. Enoch, Executive Producer for the show, and also to our CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Adam Kokra, and also to the CEO of Clinton Lodge and Restaurant, Mr. Mohammed Clinton. Thank you so much. And to manager here at Clinton Lodge, Ibrahim. Shout out to you. And also big ups to our director, Biggie Shahid. Thank you so much, Biggie. You know we love you so much on the show. All protocols duly observed. We want to say good night and thank you for staying on to the show. Until next week, make sure you're taking good care of yourself and loving yourself more. Peace out.